You're watching Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney, Southwest Florida's #1 show for smart retirement planning. He's a best-selling author, radio personality, and a fiduciary advisor you can trust. Get ready for expert insights, straight talk, and strategies to secure your future. Now, here's Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor, Eric Kearney.
Welcome to Retirement Talk TV with Eric Kearney. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Eric Kearney and Joseph Lanza of Retirement Wealth Advisors. To our viewers at home, your retirement success is more about the number that's in your bank account. It's about how you turn that bank account into an income plan. We're going to talk about that on today's show. Thank you for being with us. Eric, how are you today?
Oh, great, Cynthia. Good morning to you.
It's so good to see you. And Joseph, how are you?
Fabulous. Happy to be here.
Happy to be with both of you. And thank you for allowing me to be here today. I'm kind of going through some allergy situations with my voice, but I think we're going to make it through just fine.
All right.
So we often talk about people that need to create an income plan in their retirement. And obviously it's so important. It's more than just people having savings, but also just turning that into an income stream. Eric, you often talk about income versus assets.
Right.
Can you explain the difference and why it matters so much in retirement?
Yeah, so I think this is one of the biggest mysteries that we have with clients.
Absolutely.
Like, I have all this money, but like now I need income. I no longer have a paycheck. I'm retired and I have bills to pay. So here's the bottom line. When you take a look at your assets, what we're really doing is we're actually taking a look at your net worth. What have you accumulated over the years? And the nice thing is that somebody will say, hey, Eric, I have a brand new Mercedes that's all paid for. Well, that's great, but that's not going to provide you with any income, right?
That's right.
A baby grand piano, not going to provide you with any income. So what we're doing is that when we take a look at your net worth, we're now separating it between tangible assets that you might enjoy and also income producing assets. So now we're going to take a look at your Social Security, pensions, annuities, dividends, distributions, any kind of monetary value that you have, cash, CDs, checking. And now what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, how much does your lifestyle cost? And everybody like kind of panics about that. They're like, I don't want to know how much I'm spending, but we really do have to know because you've got healthcare that's soaring. You have housing that's getting very costly. Inflation, you have two different kinds of inflation. You've got normal inflation, which is your HUD money, which is basically your housing, utilities, gas, and groceries.
Okay.
And then you have medical and healthcare inflation. That is now north of 6%. So if you're going to build an income plan, you want to make sure that it's fitting your lifestyle, but you also understand how you're receiving income and why.
Makes perfect sense. Joseph, why is it so scary for a lot of people to think that they need to reach a certain number in their retirement account? We all remember that commercial that people were walking around, they had a number over their head. Why is that a dangerous assumption?
Yeah, well, people think, oh, I hit $1 million in my IRA or my 401k, so I'm good to retire, right? And maybe that number is satisfying to you. It's a goal that you've had for quite some time. But at the end of the day, that number alone isn't a plan, right? What is it actually going to provide for you in retirement? We shouldn't be thinking just about how much we have in that account, but how much income that account can actually give to us every single year. And going through retirement, getting to it is a lot like climbing up a mountain. You spend years building, growing, saving, but the goal isn't just to get to the top of that mountain. It's about getting down the other side safely, right? So you have this nest egg that you now have to turn into reliable income that lasts you 20, 25, 30 years. That catches people off guard a lot, right? Because we have taxes, we have inflation, we have market fluctuations, right? So a lot of people get caught off guard by that. But remember, this is why we build income plans, not just accumulation plans. And also remember, when you go into retirement, your paycheck is going to stop, but your expenses will not. If anything, those are just going to continue to get more and more expensive with inflation. So before you decide to pull the plug on retirement, if you will, just because you hit a certain number in your account, you have to start thinking about how much income can that number actually generate me year after year.
And why do people have that idea that they need to reach a certain amount? Where does that mindset even come from?
I think a lot of it, and you can attest to this too, is like comparison. And comparison is like the thief of joy, right?
That is very
true. But when my neighbor retired on $1 million, or this person was able to do it on this, I saw this guru online who told me, the $2 million retirement's the new $1 million retirement. You can throw all that out the window, to be honest with you. It's really about your situation, what your lifestyle looks like. just focusing on that will save you so much pressure in retirement, and understanding it's not about anybody else. It's about your retirement and what you want out of that.
Joseph, thank you so much. Eric, talk a little bit about some income illusions. When people are coming into the office, let's talk a little bit about what is really throwing off someone's income plan. What illusions are they under?
Well, Eric, I have a lot of money. So that's where I'm going to get my income from, right? I mean, and so, okay, but how much do you spend? And what we really have to realize is when they come into the office, you have to realize that you have a financial fuel tank, and however big it is, now all of a sudden we have to start pulling income from that. And then you have taxes, inflation, healthcare, long-term care. You want to put in a new boat dock, and somebody will say, oh, I need about 30 grand. 30 grand down payment. And so this is where we kind of laugh at the conference table sometimes, and somebody will say, oh, we want to redo our whole entire kitchen. We need 15 grand. Again, 15 grand down payment.
What year is it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people they don't realize how much things cost anymore, you know? And so we usually talk about years in retirement, but in Florida, we talk about hurricanes. So we're like, hey, 3 hurricanes ago, things went from, wow, that's pricey, to now, are you kidding me? So prices have changed, but people in their minds, prices haven't changed. But in the income plan, we're being realistic about what inflation looks like, what your required minimum distributions look like. It's a full, transparent income plan. And quite frankly, Joseph, I think that you can agree there's not enough people that have an income plan done.
No, I actually met with somebody who, and she said, she goes, I know you're going to use this on TV, and you can't. It was kind of funny because she's a longtime viewer, and she came in, and after that second meeting, I'd put together an income plan for her. She'd been working with another advisor for over 3 years. And I kid you not, I slid the income plan across the table, and she said, yep, I've never seen anything like this before.
Oh, wow.
Right? And she said, and I know you're going to use that on TV. So I am. So thank you for watching.
Well,
she knows who she is. But that's the whole point, right? And there's people that are out there working with professionals that are not getting that level of service, which we think is the first step of service. It's the first step of understanding somebody's situation, is putting together that income plan. And there's just so few people that have ever seen that on one piece of paper from them. It boggles our minds, really.
Most definitely, because in retirement, income is the outcome. Wouldn't you agree, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not about running out of money. It's about really running out of income.
Yes.
Right. And when you really take a look at retirement, it's not really an investing problem, right? It's more of an income generating engineering problem. And so what people want to see is, again, how am I going to get income, but why? Why are we pulling it from here? Why are we pulling it from here? You have to take a look at all the different accounts that somebody has, how they're taxed, how sustainable they are. You're taking a look at the rate of return. You're paying attention to so many different dynamics. And Western and Southern did a study on income plans, and it shows that 70% of people in retirement, already retired, do not have an income plan. How is that possible?
I know.
How do we understand where we're going if we don't understand how we're going to pay our bills? Or even better, how long this is going to last? Because we're going from a retirement that we used to plan for 15 to 20 years. Now it's 20 to 35 years. And so we are living much longer. Life is much more costly. And I don't think that we're prepared for that just as yet.
Absolutely.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, I know that you and Joseph have a very special message to the viewers at home. Talk about what that is before we take our first commercial break, please.
Yeah, so the good news is we can fix this. And you can actually grab your phone right now, pick it up, and go to myincomeplan.com. When you go to myincomeplan.com, you can actually click on the retirement income guide, and you can actually download that very guide for you today. Take a look at that, give us a call, set a meeting, and we will do a personal financial blueprint, and we will do a preliminary income plan for you. It's all complimentary. And believe me, once you have that done, you're going to feel a lot more relieved about your financial future. Give us a call today, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Eric, thank you so much. Joseph, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, the number to call is 800-779-1942. Or grab your smartphone, click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That is the fast track to get on the schedule at Retirement Wealth Advisors. We'll be right back momentarily.
Hey everyone, welcome in. I'm Joseph Lanza with Retirement Wealth Advisors, and today I'm joined by our certified financial planner, Donna Crone. Donna, thank you for joining me today.
Great to be here again, Joseph.
Great to always have you, Donna. Today, I want to discuss something that is a little bit of a touchy topic sometimes, couples in retirement, finances in couples. Donna, you've helped so many couples prepare for retirement, get through retirement, that are currently in retirement, what are some tips or possible roadblocks for couples to avoid to maybe get on the same page about their finances?
It is very common, Joseph, for couples not to be on the same page when it comes to their finances. And one of the most common situations we see this with is that one spouse, very detail oriented, knows where all the bodies lie, if you will, right? And the other spouse is not so interested.
Yep.
And what happens is that gap continues to widen over time until something happens and the spouse who is less informed all of a sudden is like, oh my God, gets very overwhelmed, or the spouse that is very detail oriented starts to panic because all the pieces aren't fitting together. So one of my tips would be first, just to acknowledge that it's okay and it's perfectly normal for two spouses to have a different level of interest in their financial situation.
Absolutely.
The next tip I would have would be to find the common ground, right? Regardless of how you get there, whether you like lots of spreadsheets and lots of numbers, or you just want a nice picture, right? Something visual that describes what's going on. If you focus on your common ground or what your common goals are, maintaining your lifestyle, travel, maybe buying a second home, something along those lines. If you keep your focus on that, then the rest of the conversations are, they all come from that space. And the last tip I would say around working with couples would be that you want to respect each other's style. We all process information differently. So the spouse that's super detailed, who likes the spreadsheets, those are my kind of people, by the way, but who do that brings them joy. That really brings them joy. It makes them feel good to do that. And the spouse that's less interested, it's not that they're not interested in their lifestyle. It's just that the details can be overwhelming. So when we respect each other's styles, how we intake and process information, I think that goes a long way towards closing that gap again.
I think this is something that Donna does so well with financial planning is she takes these hard to understand concepts or these very complex situations and makes them very easy to understand through financial planning. Donna, thank you for joining me today. Back to you guys in the studio.
Welcome back to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Eric Kearney and Joseph Lanza of Retirement Wealth Advisors. Thank you for being with us. I do want to ask you a question, Eric, about market volatility. But in the commercial that we just watched, the farm truck that's behind you, can we talk a little bit about what that is? I love that truck.
Yeah, so that was a truck that I bought years ago. And we actually have a podcast called Farm Truck Financial. And I literally have property up in North Carolina, and so I was beating up my pickup truck, and I just was looking for an older truck to haul rocks and trees. And I bought this thing. The nice thing about this is it's a 1956 Chevy 6500 truck, and I drove it downtown one time, and everybody just went nuts over this truck.
I'm sure.
They just went crazy. So we actually evolved, and now we do Farm Truck Financial, and we have a lot of really cool people on our podcast. And so that is actually the set for it. So you can see on Spotify, Google, but Joseph and I have been having a lot of good times with that. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but we both have a huge passion for it. So
I love that. So farmtruckfinancial.com. Great website, great podcast. I was on it last night and I think it's amazing. So I definitely wanted to bring it up. Eric, market volatility or a downturn, if you will, early in retirement, how does that derail someone's plan?
I think it's more emotional, right? I mean, it really shouldn't be affecting you long term. But unfortunately, we think in a period of months where really you want to plan for decades, right? So down markets cause fear, volatility creates panic. And all of a sudden, these psychological pressures that we end up having about our money kind of evolve through our head a little bit faster. It makes poor decision making even faster and easier. So now all of a sudden, if we have previously had poor financial decisions in the past is really never far. And so now what we're doing is we're saying, well, I made that mistake back then. I'm going to make a mistake now. I'm just going to sit in cash. Meanwhile, inflation's taking over, healthcare costs are soaring. It is not cheap to live anymore. And so things keep occurring. Instead, what we need to do is we need to learn how to combat these, and we need to learn how to take advantage of this. I'm going to give you a quick story, and it goes back to my North Carolina property. And Randy, our producer, he and I are great friends. He also lives in North Carolina. I'll make it a quick story, but years ago, I buy this property, I'm clearing out brush and trees, and I come across a copperhead.
Wow.
Big fat copperhead, and I freak out, right?
Most people would.
Yeah.
You're from Florida. You're supposed to be a Florida man.
I'm not Florida man, no. So here I have this poisonous snake in front of me, right?
Yes.
And I go back to Florida and I'm like, I'm not building a house up there. Like, that was my dream. This fat copperhead lives up there and it's going to bite me. It's going to chase me. So for months, I really thought about this. And I want you to think about when there's market volatility and you see that and you freak out about it. So I'm thinking, I'm not going to build this house. It's the end of the property, right? Nobody's going to buy this property because there's a copperhead living out there.
And he's giant.
Yeah,
it's
it's giant. It's poison and it chases you. So I go online and I actually learned all about copperheads. Copperheads, first of all, they're not poisonous. They're venomous. They're not going to, if they bite you, more than likely you're not going to die. You're going to be okay. It's going to be painful. And more importantly, the copperhead doesn't want to have anything to do with you. It actually wants to be away from you. So I learned so much about the copperhead, I built a house. So now I realize he is somewhere on my property, right? And I'm not afraid of him, and I know there's others. His whole family lives there.
Whole family, ancestors.
Yeah, everyone lives there, and they're all sneaking around my house. But the thing is that now I'm aware of it, and I'm okay with it.
Yes.
So I have a little dog. I'm aware when the dog goes out there,
It's true.
but I'm not afraid of it anymore. It's the same thing when there's volatility. If you think that this is going to be the only time that you're going to have volatility in your retirement, that's crazy. If you think that there's only going to be one recession in your retirement, that's not true. So we have to find a way to combat that. We have to find a way to take advantage of it and look for opportunities in that. So the markets are always going to ebb and flow. That's what creates a market. So do an income plan that's actually going to show you how to get through difficult times.
So what you're saying is you almost didn't build a house in North Carolina because of one copperhead, but you live in Florida with gators and pythons in your back.
They don't bother me.
It doesn't matter, right?
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
So, Joseph, how should retirees think about balancing growth potential and income security? You still want growth, but you also want to feel secure.
Yeah, it's the toughest challenge for a lot of retirees, especially early on, right? Because we're going from working, we have income. Now our portfolio has to turn into our paycheck, if you will.
It's true.
I think where a lot of people get this wrong is they think they have to go one or the other. So they either become far too conservative and they lose to taxes and inflation, or they become far too aggressive and then they experience a market loss. Maybe they don't have that same time horizon to recover from that. So the goal is to build a strategy that beats that uncertainty. Like you were saying, you still want that growth in the portfolio to outpace taxes and inflation, but now we want to add some reliable income streams in there. And you can start with by thinking about it as we want to take care of your basic living expenses first. Eric mentioned it earlier, your hug money, housing, utilities, gas, and groceries. Because once those are taken care of, it allows you to invest the rest of your assets with a lot more freedom, confidence, maybe step on the gas a little bit more with those. So it doesn't turn into this question of like, should I be more conservative or should I be more aggressive? And it certainly isn't one of those silly risk questionnaire questions that you see that are like, how comfortable do you feel losing half your portfolio?
Right.
Those always make me laugh so hard because I've never met an investor who's comfortable losing any dollar in their portfolio, right? Don't get it. But so it's really about understanding your lifestyle, what you want your lifestyle to look like, how much that's going to cost you, and then building that portfolio that can sustainably generate that income that you need.
Joseph, thank you so much. You're right. I can't imagine anyone saying, yes, I'll just lose half of it. I'm fine. In fact, 75%.
Oh, Tuesday morning. Oh, wow. Look at that. Down
This is
50%.
a great day. So, Eric, I should ask you, guaranteed income streams like annuities, pensions, how do those play into someone's overall retirement plan?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like income streams, right?
Everyone does.
I mean, if you have a pension. And so the funny thing is like, what's different about today is a lot of people in the 1980s had a pension. So it was significantly easier. People don't have that today. But when I was 38 years old in the business, I realized that people in retirement that created income streams actually had a lot less stress in their retirement because they had more income streams that they knew were coming in. So whether it was a pension, your Social Security, structured annuities, dividends and distributions, or income producing portfolios, I found that those people were a lot more confident about their retirement. So now what we're doing is that's why we build the income plan. And isn't it amazing? I know we said it earlier, but it blows me away how many times that we show somebody that and they're like, I've never seen this before. How is that possible? So again, if you've never had an income plan, go to myincomeplan.com and download your very own retirement income guide, and we can actually make this for you. And more than likely, you never have seen this, and it's a great tool to have.
Most definitely. Eric, thank you so much. Joseph, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, the number to call is on your screen, 800-779-1942. What you're calling in for today is to book that complimentary consultation with Eric and Joseph. Let them get to know you one-on-one, your goals, your dreams, and your hopes for retirement. It all starts with having a solid income plan. This is your financial future. Take action today, 1-800-779-1942, or click the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. We'll be right back with so much more on Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. Stay tuned.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Eric Kearney, president of Retirement Wealth Advisors. For the past 15 years, we've been helping pre- and post-retirees learn how to retire and live a more dynamic lifestyle. People have so many questions, not enough answers. Yet we go out there and we're buying tools, products, investments without any real proof if these are actually going to work for us. Sign up for our course, Reality in Retirement. We're simply there to educate you about the beginning of retirement all the way to the very end. We talk about tax planning, income planning, portfolio money management, and what we really want to do is help you understand how to live a more dynamic lifestyle and plan for longevity and sustainability. So if you have more questions than answers about your retirement, go to myincomeplan.com, sign up today, and we'll see you soon.
Welcome back to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Eric Kearney and Joseph Lanza of Retirement Wealth Advisors. Thank you for being with us. Eric, what about live seminars and workshops? Are you offering any of those, you and Joseph both?
Yeah, so the workshops that we're doing, we're teaching those at local colleges, and we've been doing that now for over 15 years.
Fantastic.
And last year, we had so many classes. It was great. We had great turnouts. We met a lot of great people. More importantly, we were able to write an awful lot of financial plans and income plans, which is what we're talking about today, because people are looking for more transparency. They're looking for clarity over complexity. And really, when we do these, they're all about education. So we're not talking about products, tools, and investments. And there's a lot of people that say, Eric, we have problems. We're coming into you because we do have retirement issues. We have retirement problems. We need to solve these. And I think a lot of times people are surprised how much a financial plan actually solves those problems, because it's giving you a much bigger view of your actual retirement.
Yeah, like comprehensive, right? And sometimes people come to those classes, they're already working with an advisor, and it's almost like a second opinion where they're like, you know what? Why not? Let me go see what's going on here. What is there any pieces that I'm missing? Should I be adding something into my financial plan? Is there a massive piece with taxes or with income planning or estate planning that I can implement now and possibly my future self will thank me a lot for doing that?
Most definitely. Thank you both. Eric, let me ask you a question. For someone who's not sure how much income their portfolio could generate safely, what is the best first step?
Right. So what we do is we always bring them in, sit them down, and we just want to have a conversation. And I think that this is why people don't come into a lot of advisors. They get so overwhelmed, and it's such a big deal. It's such a big subject that they're just like, I don't even know where to start. Believe me, it's just a conversation. Then after that, what we do is we build a personal financial blueprint. It is based off of your exact portfolio. And what it does is it gives us a baseline. It gives us a great starting place to say, look, this is where you are. And what it does is it goes through and it shows all the strengths and the weaknesses of your portfolio. And it really kind of shows you like where we're going to start. This is why we're anticipating making a change. And then we get into income planning. There are 5 things that every retiree needs. And this is going to help you to start to understand what missing pieces of the puzzle you may have. Number 1 is a financial plan. Number 2 is an income plan. Where's my paycheck coming from? Number 3 is a tax plan. Number 4 is concierge service. And the last one is you want a strong portfolio management team to making sure that you're getting a strong rate of return to actually fund your lifestyle. You know, that's what everyone's concerned about is maintaining that lifestyle that they have. How are we going to do that? And that's where all the responsibility really comes down to strong and efficient planning.
You mentioned before about, being emotional when markets get volatile and that it always comes down to how your lifestyle, keeping that intact. I think when individuals don't have that financial plan, it causes them to become so emotional when they see volatility in the markets, because it's saying, what does that mean for my situation?
Right.
Does this volatility mean I have to work another year or two? Or does this mean that I have to spend less income every year because my portfolio can't generate that anymore? When you have that financial plan, all those questions get answered in real time. So when you're experiencing that volatility, it's not a panic that you're going through. You know exactly how that plan is working and flowing for you.
And again, it's peace of mind.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. Joseph, I've heard you mention this before, sequence of returns risk. How does this impact retirees more so than younger investors?
Yeah, it's a term that sounds technical, but it's easy to understand, and it makes a lot of sense, right? So now that we're in retirement, we're no longer just looking at our retirement accounts, we're actually withdrawing from them. What that means is we're selling shares in order to generate that cash for us to live off of. But now if we experience volatility, the market has a downturn, we're still trying to live our lives. We still have to sell shares in order to live off of that. But when the market inevitably recovers, we have less shares in order to participate in that recovery. It makes that recovery process longer.
Wow.
We didn't have to worry about that during our working years, obviously, right? Because we had income coming in, but now and if anything, during your working years, you almost welcome a downturn because I could buy up more shares for a lower price.
That's true.
Now we're in retirement, there's no do-overs, and the early losses can mean a lot more for your situation. And so it brings back that point of it's not just about how much you have, it's also about how and when you go about taking what you have. And it also emphasizes the importance of building those withdrawal strategies that maybe aren't at 100% mercy of the market. So that way you're never left wondering, is this negatively affecting the longevity of my retirement?
Joseph, thank you so much. Eric, again, it's all about peace of mind. And with only a minute and a half left of the show, when someone comes in for that complimentary appointment with your team, what can they expect?
I mean, so what we're going to do is we're going to, first of all, go through everything that you've done up until this point. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start to see what you need in the future. And really what we're trying to do is draw out what your retirement looks like, what it should feel like, what you want it to be like, and actually how much it's going to cost. And so again, what we're doing is we're asking a lot of questions and really just funneling down to what your needs are. And again, those 5 things that you need are a financial plan, tax plan, income plan, strong portfolio money management, and also concierge service. So again, go to myincomeplan.com, download your very own retirement income guide. That is yours today. Give us a call, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Eric, thank you so much. Joseph, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, thank you for spending time with us today on Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. Once again, myincomeplan.com, myincomeplan.com, or click the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. Once again, that podcast is farmtruckfinancial.com, farmtruckfinancial.com. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today. Take care now and see you soon.
Hey, Southwest Florida, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions after today's show, please give us a call.
Remember, you only retire once. Let's get it right the first time. Have a great week and an even better retirement.